So I'm trying to create another 6-inch DirectX monitor. Well, another DirectX monitor, but this one's gonna be 6 inches because this screen is 6 inches. I already have my 7-inch one, which works great, you know. But this one, this is SDI. My 7-inch is not SDI, so I kind of want to give options for those who want to rent an SDI monitor. Ideally, I would get the 7-inch monitor that has SDI and create that. But then I did a pricing for that, buying the monitor, the case for monitor, you know, everything I need, like literally, like including mounts, whatever, case. It ended up being like $1,000. So I kind of want to avoid that and maybe start with this, because this 6-inch monitor, I use this on my C70 when I do stuff, and right now I'm not doing anything, so I can simply just take this off, put it back on my C70 if I need to. Otherwise, I think I'm gonna, you know, start renting it out in this fashion. I have already started renting it out in a different configuration, where this was the arm or the handle used. This is actually this handle here. I just swapped them, just swappable. So, because the NATO, if I put NATO on this side, it blocks my ports. So, that doesn't work. So I was like, I'll just switch to this, which does make it weird because it's like a little off axis compared to the right handle. There we go. That's better. So that's one thing, which I don't think they'll care, honestly. Like with this, I think holding it like this is more comfortable compared to holding it like this. So, because nothing really hits you, you know. The way I've had it was, so I had these dividers in like this, and I had my transmitter, receiver, and I just threw in my follow focus because I wanted them to live somewhere. I didn't want them to just lay around in my basement, and I had cables and whatever. But then this configuration, it's a little bit different. First off, this is how I had it originally. I put it back on, but I bought this little cheese bar, I guess, to see if I could like just use this and connect it to my V mount. But I found that this part here, it's recessed a little further forward, that the V mount plate touches this and I can't utilize it. So I reverted back to this Camvate DirectX monitor type cheese plate system. I was trying to avoid like this sticking out, you know, keeping it more low profile, but you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Which this works, you know, they definitely won't care, guarantee it. But then this is the next problem. So I bought this. So I bought these two new handles, the cheese bar here, which I'll find a use for it, hopefully, and another monitor mount, because the other monitor mount I have is 3/8 RE locking, or 3/8 RE locking, or code hot shoe, you know. So I was trying to avoid any of that. I want people to get this and just be on. They just grab the receiver, connect antennas, HDMI or SDI, and start working right away. So when I connected this adds some length to the storage of this monitor, and that kind of sucks because I can't use this divider anymore. It overlaps it. I'll have to change how wide it is, which I probably can't, because these divider itself is the size. I don't want this entire case just to be dedicated for this. That's a waste of space, because I want the transmitter and receiver to be stored in here at the very minimum. Which that might be the case. So yeah, I'm kind of under a a pickle here. And oddly enough, I tried to put this into the case where the 7-inch monitor is, and it's longer than the actual case. Not this case, but just imagine this is a bigger case. The handles are longer because a 7-inch monitor, I have handles that retract in, and it's not permanently in one position, which in the end ultimately is kind of what I should have done. Which was I was thinking about doing that, but I would have to buy the entire like setup from Camvate again. Because that's what I use. I use Camvate's Director's Monitor system. And the little bar that goes on top, it's a little long. It goes like up to here. So it won't make much difference if I did that on this one. So I'm saving that for the 7-inch version. But for now, the 6-inch, I chose NATO so they can like take it off and on real quickly if they wanted to. And I might store it like this. You know, this might be work better. And the transmitter, the receiver can be on the right side. Oops, sorry guys. That might work better, honestly. I still hate the fact that space will be wasted up here. So, but I'll figure it out. Side note, I grabbed my light that was in my computer room in here because I desperately needed a light for this workbench area, because over here has that light, right? So I can see stuff fine. But over here, it's always a little darker. And we all work with like black stuff. So like, it's kind of hard to see. So I was like, I don't want to buy another lamp, you know, put it here. And today I was just like, let me just grab this light because it's not serving any purpose being out there, you know, so I have a light. Okay, I think I found my configuration. One thing I forgot to consider was that I wanted to have a strap on the monitor. So like director's monitor will, you know, they just hang around their neck the entire time. So, yep, so that handle has to stay on because like I'm using the threads from that handle to actually like support these. So I'm just using the 1/4-20 like quick release for plates. These never worked for me on my plates, so I decided to use them for here. So it works well. But yeah, and this just lives here. And this little nub here, like I found, I was able to find a useful way of storing my other stuff in here with it on. So, which is good. So what I've done is I kind of create this little L/U configuration here. The right side, you'll have the transmitters and receivers. The left side will be the Nucleus Nano 2. I kind of configured this so this is a little cheese plate thing, the same cheese plate right here. I put a NATO rail here so I could put this on that so it can have a handle. So I can put a handle on the bottom here. And what we do is we use this handle here. This is a battery as well, so just charges this, the control unit at the same time, so we don't have to worry about like it losing battery. So that's the idea. And then the little focus motor here. So yeah, so this configuration I think is set. The lid, we have SDI cables, HDMI, antennas, and I put a bag for the antennas so it's easy to grab. Because like when you're in here, it's hard to grab the bottom. So when I have a little Ziploc bag, I can just grab it like that and make life easier. And up here we have the barrel of the D-tap. And then we have rigging, just some random rigging stuff. Some rods, some different mounting systems. Then others, which I have like tools and whatever I need put in there. So this is a whole set. So yeah. Good to start renting it. So this next gig I'm working with my buddy David again, and they are creating a spec ad for the Music Bed Challenge, and I'm here to help Gav. I've also supplied some AC stuff, monitors, wireless transmitters, lights, you know, stuff that we kind of need. Well, I guess lights, not AC, but you know, I'm a gaffer, so gotta bring it. This first shot here is outside, and we are kind of setting up kind of a semi insert shot. Like it's a spec ad, so it's kind of everything's kind of inserts, but they're kind of making it so they can create a longer version if they wanted to also. So there's a little bit extra work involved, you know. And we set up one of the 650 lights on the side there to kind of create just a little more light there. But for the most part, I use my 600 watt with the Fresnel, beaming into the kitchen most of the day, and then we use the 650 to go through the living room and the 300 with a Fresnel to the door, just to kind of keep the light consistent throughout the whole day. I'm not gonna show much about the inside stuff, just cause like it's kind of pretty simple, and I was in there just helping out and doing stuff, so I didn't capture that much BTS. That would be kind of interesting to kind of talk about. Here we are. We brought the monitor inside, and we're gonna have a focus puller there. Brittany is our stand-in, and she's also our AC for the day. And this is kind of her first time pulling focus, just because the DP wanted someone to pull focus for the dolly shots, because it's kind of difficult to pull focus and do dolly at the same time. But yeah, she did a good job regardless. We rented a Blackmagic 6K full frame for this project, and we also rented the Surrey anamorphic lenses to kind of test them out, mainly the camera out. I kind of want to talk about the GVM 650 light real quick. First thing, the cable that connects the fixture to the ballast is not long enough. It's about probably 6 foot only, and that is not long enough to like raise it to a good height. So you see, I have the ballast kind of set up higher on the C-stand than I normally would, and that's a pretty big red flag in my opinion for me. I'm pretty sure they sell extensions, but I don't know. Then the bones mount, it's a little recessed in compared to other bones mount that you might have. Like some like kind of sticks out a little bit, so some modifiers can fit a little bit better. Here's a reflector off just so you can kind of see. It can affect certain modifiers. If you have the reflectors or soft boxes, it might be okay, but others you might have to get GVMs. The ballast itself is a regular ballast, you know, it works fine. And overall, the light actually works, you know, really good. It's a light, it's well built, in my opinion. The mounting system is very similar to Aperture's mounting system. It's a kind of a rectangle type clamp on a super clamp. So it's very similar to that compared to Kodak's V-mount. Both connectors are on the bottom of the ballast, which I really dislike. That automatically leaves the 6 foot cable, you know, reduced more. Packing the case up is a little bit strange. It does a similar thing where you have to put the reflector kind of in between the mounting system or the light, but then the handle kind of goes between these two dividers, and that just kind of seems not as clean in my opinion. It fits though, whatever, you know, it's a case. It holds everything. But one thing about the case is it doesn't come with wheels. So it's just a carrying case, and you have to carry it, and it can be very heavy. And that's kind of my thoughts on the GVM light. It's an okay light if you want a light that's 600 watts equivalent and it's like very, very affordable. It's good. Otherwise, you might not like this light. I would kind of recommend the other brands if you want a high power light.